This is another episode of People on the Planet. And with us today, we have Christine. Hi,
Hello.
Christine.
Hi. How are you?
Well, thank you. We're so excited to have you join our People on the Planet series. We want to learn more about you and your business and
Sure.
how it all came about. So, how did you come up with the name of your business?
I came up with Perfectly Imperfect Arts at a time right after I had gotten injured and just trying to figure out who I was at the same time, I guess. And so Perfectly Imperfect Arts. So I take recycled materials and I turn them into something beautiful, a variety of different things. And so Perfectly Imperfect just represents me and represents the stuff that I make, and the stuff that I get are, some of them are imperfect, but I really think they turn out pretty beautifully perfect.
I
So
have to agree. I've seen your items, and I think that they're
thank you.
beautiful and unique and creative and all of that good. I love it. And so, why is recycling or reusing materials important for you?
Well, I was just thinking, I'm like, well, where is it going to go after this? So, like, the materials that I use are primarily necklaces and bracelets
Mm-hmm.
and flower pots or teapots
Mm-hmm.
or even a spaghetti jar. And I like to spray paint also. So, anyways, but I was just like, where is this going to go here? So, if I go to a thrift store, where's it going to go if it doesn't sell at a thrift store? If it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't sell from Goodwill, where's it going to go after that? And I can't get any answers really of where it's going to go other than to my home, and then I recreate it. So, yeah,
I love
yeah,
that. And so, planters, I know that you create different
yes,
items, but planters is your main or
yes,
your theme. I don't
yes.
know why planters.
Okay, so well, I'm not a plant person. I
Mm-hmm.
am still learning how to keep my plants alive. But there is something with memory making. When I was working as a nurse, I worked in labor and delivery.
Mm-hmm.
I helped families that lost their children. We did a lot of memory making. And so during my recovery process with my injury, I started doing things that were like memory making. So when I look at the jewelry, okay, that I'm picking out, I think about how many people wore it. What memories did they create with it? What pictures were they pictured in with it? So I have a couple pieces that were made with 5 different necklaces, and sometimes I look at them and I'm like, "Ooh, I wonder what those 5 people were like." And that's exciting to me to just look at them. I've had a couple people come up and they're like, "Hey, that's jewelry that I might have worn way
Mm-hmm.
back in the day." And I'm like, "You might have if you donated it." And I know that some pieces are made in the 60s or 70s by, well, what they're
Mm-hmm.
labeled at when I get the pieces at the thrift store. Some of them are a little bit more pricey. And so I love that I have a couple that are made with, it says vintage pearls on it. So
I love that. So it's more than materials. It's the
it's
stories.
a
It's the
story.
people. It's the history.
Yeah. Yeah. I look
Wow.
at them and it's like a making all their memories, come alive again, or making a new memory with something. And I like to tell people, hey, just bring me one bead, like
Mm-hmm.
if you know somebody, or bring me one jewel or
Mm-hmm.
gemstone of something, of one of your families or yours. And I can work around that. And I'd love to do that for people. I'd love to be able to create something specific that could be memory for that, memory for them. But it would be combined with some other people's memories because it's other jewelry that I
No,
get. So yeah,
that's what makes your art so special.
thank
And
you.
when we met, I was just mesmerized because of the intention. It's not just another piece. You're not putting beats together. There's meaning
Thank
and
you.
substance behind what you're doing, and that's why I was like, I want to ask you if you would, join us, because the purpose of People in the Planet is to highlight what the community, individuals in the community, are doing to show that our choices matter.
Yeah.
And it's really important to consider that when you're purchasing, whether it's new or thrift
Yeah.
or anything, like what's the life cycle? What will happen when
Yeah.
I've used this and I'm ready to discard it. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, and I want to tell you, so when I first discovered this, the first beaded or jeweled beaded plant hanger that I'd ever seen was actually a really close friend of mine, and I looked up and I'm like, who made that? And she said it was her grandmother's. So I was looking at something that had been around for at least 50 to 60 years.
Wow.
And to know that it was made with fishing line and her jewelry that she picked out that long ago and it was still there, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go home and I'm going to try that. That could really be awesome. And I like it.
Sustainable, long-lasting.
Yes, absolutely.
Like you said, stories.
Yes. Yeah. Memory making.
I love that.
Yeah.
The memory making piece, because when you want to leave something behind for someone to have really positive thoughts or about you and your impact, and I love that. So you're not a plant person.
Yeah. Yes.
But you decided to embark on planters.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea. I like shiny things. Yeah. And yeah, they're just, they're just pretty. I like wind chimes. I make wind chimes. So glass bottles that I'll cut, and I happen to have tinker toys. So for us over the age of, I think 30 is safe to say, what a tinker toy is. And so I would use those. They were my kids, and I use that on the inside. So to make the noise, I don't know what I was going to say because people walked by, but
that's what happens, folks, when you conduct an interview in a public space.
So,
but it was important for you to use the materials that you already had.
Yes, it was very important for me to use materials that I had, again, because where are they going to go? If I go and buy something, if I went and bought brand new jewelry, or even if I got it from, let's say, a bead store and I could get things wholesale, sure, I could do that. But I wanted to do something different. And some of the beads that I have found have been truly remarkable. And a lot of people will say they've never seen some of the beads that I've used and some of the gemstones that I found. So I find that really cool. It's hard for me to get rid of my own pieces.
I'm sure, because again, it's not just a product.
Yeah.
You are continuing this story, and you want people to be drawn to your art because you're an artist. You're not a crafter.
Thank you.
And there's a difference.
Thank you.
I think. But no, I love that. And so, do you go to thrift stores and pick items up, or how do you get your supplies?
So I would say like 95% of my business is made of thrifted items. So there is like a 5% of new stuff that I need to, find. But I primarily will go to White Dove. They donate back to hospice. And I apologize, I cannot think of the names of the other two places, but there are two other thrift stores. I know their locations.
We'll put it in the comments.
Okay. Yes. But one donates back to people with special needs.
Okay.
And the other one donates back to children, and I believe the foster care system.
Okay.
They children's welfare, I believe. They said they donate back to. And I have been able to find jewelry at those three companies so far. Goodwill doesn't keep necklaces there, so. But I like the idea of those three thrift stores because they donate back to people that need it. So I know that at least my contribution is still going back to them. So, and then I get to take those pieces that, honestly, if they're not going to be sold there, where are they going to go? And, a dump just doesn't seem like it's doable. So
no, not at all. So. There has to be alternatives. Yeah. Because what goes into the landfills comes back. We inhabit this beautiful planet, and it's not just the people, but it's the animals, the mammals, the insects.
Yes.
And we need to consider our choices because it impacts life.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And so, in addition to your planters, what are some of the other things?
Well, I have one actually. Should I pull it out?
Yes,
okay.
Please.
So I have a hand wired tree of life that I first start out as a metal bracelet, and then let me put this down.
That's gorgeous.
Thank you. Should have had this ready ahead of time, but there you go.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So yeah, so I'll hand wire that. This one looks like a metal bracelet. Oh, sorry. This one looks like a metal bracelet, but it was actually a metal piece, and it had 5 of them on a necklace. So it actually went across like this, and I
Wow.
took it apart, and
That's
there you
beautiful.
go. And then all of these are from other necklaces that I've used. I just had the leftover beads. So then you can hang this up in the window and it'll catch the light. It's really pretty.
That's
so that's
really
one of them.
pretty.
Yeah.
I love
So,
that,
thank you.
Christine. And
Thank
your
you.
other item?
The other item is a sun catcher. I'm so sorry. This is terrible. Okay.
We need like a production assistant.
I know,
someone,
right?
A gifter, whatever the person is
Yes.
that holds the mic above your head. So,
It's like, pause, please. So this came from an antique lamp.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So, but that also is made for, it's a little too long to put in a rear view, or, like a rear view mirror.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have shorter versions,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can put this, but it shouldn't have any of the same ones. I only have a few more of those, and they're in a plant hanger. So
I love it. So you intentionally, your pieces, whether it's the sun catchers, the wind chimes, the planters, it's all intentional to be like one of a kind pieces.
Yes.
Like you do not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you might find this, like
Mhm.
these are the leftover pieces. So
Mhm.
these are definitely, going to be seen in a plant hanger, but you won't see another plant hanger with them because I don't have any more pieces.
I love that.
Like I have a zebra plant hanger I'm working on right now. It's a zebra print, but I miscalculated. So I'm right at the bottom part of it and I can't finish it until I I will find a necklace and it'll work. That'll help me finish the last part of it. So
I love it.
Thank
and
you.
Again, you're weaving someone else's story
Yeah.
into something that you've reimagined.
yes, I am.
That's really
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
And like you've always been creative
Maybe.
or tapped into that.
I think that once I was able to be, once I was forced, I guess, to be at home more, I was a creativity I needed to tap into to still be here. So yeah, I needed that.
I love that.
So.
Well, I never colored with Inside the Lines, and so I'm always in awe of people and their creativity, but I'm learning to embrace me and my creativity in whatever form that is, which is why I love having this platform to be able to showcase what other folks are doing. So
I appreciate it. Thank
you.
Sorry.
Like I said, no, I love it. So are there any, like, if there's any aspiring artists or people who are, starting to delve into, embrace their creativity, but not sure where to start, and especially keeping in mind the impact that it has on the planet, it's like, are there any words of wisdom or anything you want to share?
Oh my gosh. No, I mean, my inspiration is our sunsets. So honestly, I like to get outside and I'll see some of the most beautiful sunsets and I'll go in and I know what color palette's going to be next. So, I do actually have some pieces that look like our sunsets. So it really is beautiful. That's my inspiration for a new artist. They say that everybody has a bit of artistry in them, every single person. So your art may not be color. Your art may be in a form of communication. Your art may be in a form of dance. Your art may be in a form of poetry. However that art is, you'll find your passion, and it really is a form of therapy, I believe. So it's helped me be here. Oh, and I roller skate. So that's another form of therapy.
Yes.
So I've made skatelets. So little skate charms that go around a necklace. I'll use the leftover chains and beads that I can't use because if I don't have the exact amount, an even amount, then I can't use them. So I have leftover beads that I'll put them into something.
That is amazing, Christine.
So, yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
So how
Thanks.
can folks find you if they want to see your art, purchase your art?
Okay. So right now I have Facebook and Instagram, and it's perfectly on Instagram, it's perfectly_imperfect_arts with a Z. And I believe Facebook is the same way. I will have a website here, hopefully by the 1st. it's up to me to do it. So, and I'm at the plant stand. We do a market once a month on a Sunday, so I'm usually there. And then starting in May, I won't be because it's too hot in Arizona. So,
For sure.
yeah.
I'll make sure to tag like your
Yeah. Thank you
socials,
very much.
and by the time this airs, your website will be ready.
It'll be ready.
We'll make sure that we include that as
Yes.
well.
Thank you.
You so very much for taking the
Thank
time
you.
out of your Sunday to show us your beautiful creations and
you.
just to get to know a little bit more about you. That's what People on the Planet's all about, just showcasing what the community is doing and their impact. And I really appreciate you taking the time to, sit down and talk with me.
Well, I appreciate it too. It was a pleasure meeting you the first time a few months ago. So
Yes.
I'm so glad that we've kept in contact.
Me too.
So,
Me too.
thank you. All right.
People on the Planet.
Thank you.